What's up, everybody? We are back for another show, your second show tonight on the What the Chuck podcast, and this time your men's soccer Chuckers finish and wrap up their NWAC friendlies portion of the 2026 NWAC men's soccer season as they go into a couple of scrimmages into East Region play. But to finish off their little experience in Tukwila, Washington, up in the Seattle area, they unfortunately got defeated by the Portland Community College Panthers. Final score 2-0. Let's go over some statistics here. Let's talk about the positives first before we have to discuss the obvious negatives that have led to this point at the end of the day based on our negative outcome against Portland. So these are the positives for your Treasure Valley Chuckers. We had players like Jaden Garcia, who had 2 shots on goal. Unfortunately, those shots did not go into the net. We had Rodolfo Vera with 1 shot on goal. But the negative with that actuality is there is only 3 shots on goal today for your Chuckers, so not a lot of offensive attack. And looking at Portland's specific statistics, they had a total of 3 shots on goal as well. So what that says is there was a lot of offensive threat power where if they were in the threat zone, like within the goal, most of the time the shots are going to fall in whenever they get to that point. What it looks like the actuality is for today is they didn't get to this point a lot. Our defense must have been pretty solid, but whenever they got to the point where they were looking for a close-up goal, a lot of that turned out to be successful for the Portland Panthers today. And the Chuckers just couldn't fight back offensively based on these statistics, where we have statistics that with a scoring summary of only Panthers scoring David Alvera within 29 minutes of the game, scored an unassisted goal, giving the lead to Portland 1-0. Then around the end of the game, about 2 minutes before the final buzzer, Logan Keontage also had an unassisted goal to finalize the score of 2-0. Penalty-wise, within 50 minutes of the game, a yellow card was given to Yahair Galindo of Portland. Your Chuckers also, within that time, in 50 minutes of the game, a yellow card was given to Juan David Diaz Cardenas. Portland was given a yellow card again within 53 minutes of the game, a yellow card given to Hunter Wilson, and also around 82 minutes of the game, Ryan Onescu. And your Chuckers also got a yellow card around the end of the game, around the 84-minute marker. Richie Mungua also was yellow carded. Game information, August 19th, 2026. Game started at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in Tukwila, Washington. Shots-wise, your Chuckers scored 5 shots, had 5 shots in the first period and 6 shots in the second period for a total of 11. Portland Panthers had 6 in the first and 7 shots in the second period, having 13 total. They won the shots margin there. Corner kicks. Portland had 2 in the first period and 3 in the second period for a total of 5 corner kicks. Treasure Valley, 1 corner kick in the first and 2 corner kicks in the second period for a total of 3. Portland also won the corner kicks total. Total number of saves. Portland had 1 save in the first and 2 saves in the second period, giving them a total of 3 saves in the entire match, while your Chuckers only had 1 save on the day, and that was in the second period. And also, once again, the Portland Panthers won that total there. The only statistic category that we have today where your Chuckers actually won the battle was fouls. and that is the category that you don't want to win the margin battle on. And that pretty much sums up why they didn't have the most successful day today for your Chuckers. Let's just look at the totals here. So the Chuckers had 5 fouls in the first period and 6 fouls in the second period for a total of 11 on the day, while Portland had 4 fouls in the first period and 5 fouls in the second for a total of 9. We won the total margin 11 fouls to 9 fouls. Again, that is not where you want to be. That is not a category that we want to be leading in. We want to be leading in most corner kicks, shots, saves, all that mamma jamma, shots on goal, assists, all that specific stuff there. Let's look at some goalie stats just to give you that reasonable positivity for this result today. Let's start for Portland. Their goalkeeper, Oliver Cockerill, had faced 3 shots on goal and had 3 saves. So pretty much a perfect outing for Cockerill for Portland. And your goalie for the Chuckers, Javen Bullock, had faced 3 shots on goal, allowed 2 goals, and had 1 save. So not the best performance for your goalie today. Again, he allowed only 2 goals out of 3 shots on goal with 1 save. So again, like I said, it shows that when Portland had the opportunity to get a goal, no matter if it went in or not, most of the time it went in today. Doesn't look like it happened that often, but whenever they got that opportunity, they definitely succeeded with that chance. And scores happen 30 minutes within the game, a score happened, and then around the end of the game, another score happened. So there's about a 60-minute margin of no scoring in this game. So that just proves to me that our defense was really solid. We just didn't have a offensive counterattack. So a positive outmark from this result here is our defense actually played to a reasonable measure today. And that is really, really good to hear. Just giving you the most positives that we can find out of a loss. I know losses stink. We want to go undefeated and win the NWAC championship, but losses are a actuality in collegiate sports, high school sports, middle school sports, professional sports, any sports that you play in. Losses are going to be a factor. Championship teams learn from these mistakes where they lose, and then they build from it. And this is what we need to do now, especially on this podcast, just giving you that view from a statistics side, from a fan side, from more of a business perspective based on how the team is going to look throughout the year, how they build from their mistakes, or how they don't build from their mistakes and how they fail even more. Hopefully they come out on the successful lane out of this loss here today, 2-0, Portland at Treasure Valley in Tukwila, Washington, for their final NWAC friendly of the 2026 season. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate everyone that is watching and listening. I really hope you get as much information and as much understandability towards the Chuckers that you can get out of this podcast. That is the view I am. That is pretty much the vibe I am going for. I like talking about Treasure Valley Chuckers. Not a lot of people give you this kind of content at this level of collegiate sports. NWAC, Northwest Athletic Conference. Really excited to do this and this kind of stuff here. But to wrap up the show today, let's just talk about every player statistic just to give you kind of the vibe of how vanilla the offense was. So when I say vanilla, not a lot, very plain things happen, not a lot of spark, not a lot of cool moments that happen based on these statistics. And we'll just give it to you now. So players like Javen Bolt, obviously he was the goaltender, so offensive scores don't really play a factor here, but players like Paul Kessler, Tristan Howell, Mario Gastelum, Christian Almanza, Carlos Beltran, Saeed Quevedo, Victor Rivera, Roman Ramirez, Yuli Soria, and Evan Hatterley had no statistics when it came to offensive succession based on goals, shots on goal, offensive threat. So again, this could either be they played more of a factor on the defensive side or just not a lot happened for your men's soccer team today. And that seems like the case just based on the summary, the time summary, and goalie statistics, penalty summary. There was a lot happening there that I would pretty much prefer to only see from the Portland's point of view. But again, this is the actuality here. Game went normal, no overtime, hour 30 minutes. Just dead air for the Chuckers today, but we'll learn from it. Let's go. Chuckers unfortunately lose to Portland 2-0. Your men's soccer team. Let's get back from this, learn from our mistakes, and go Chucks.